Welcome back to the Dispute.a podcast. I'm Paul. This is episode 15, and it closes this run on developer-side disputes. Will buyer this episode is for has been in difficulty for a while. Not one missed installment, several. Penalties accruing on each, perhaps interest on the penalties, the developer's statements. Arrive with a total that grows every month, and the buyer has stopped being able to say with confidence what they actually owe. The dispute has become a ledger. The ledger and the law are not the same document. Start with the discipline from episode 11, because it matters. More here than anywhere. The developer's running total is the developer's calculation when arrears stack over months. The gap between the ledger figure and the legally supportable figure tends to widen, because every soft element compounds. A penalty base is slightly more generous than the clause provides. Applied across 6 missed installments is 6 errors. Charges applied. From dates, the notice provisions don't support accrue month after month. Penalties calculated on penalties where the contract doesn't provide for compounding, grow geometrically. None of this requires bad faith on the developer's side. Automated ledgers apply the house interpretation uniformly, and the house interpretation favors the house. So the first act in any arrears matter is reconstruction, the payment record, the contract's actual penalty provisions, and the notices, rebuilt line by line into the figure the documents support. In stacked arrears cases, the reconstructed figure and the demanded figure are rarely identical, and the difference is the negotiations, starting capital. Why the account settles as one negotiation. The instinct of a buyer in stacked arrears is to fight, contest this penalty, plead on that installment, respond letter by letter. It's the losing pattern for 3 reasons. It fights on the developer's rhythm. Each month brings a new letter and a bigger total, and you're permanently reacting. It spends your credibility in fragments. Each small contest reads as evasion rather than position. And it resolves nothing, because even a battle won on one line leaves the account open and accruing. The alternative is the whole account settlement, one negotiation, covering everything, arrears, penalties, the go-forward, ending, in one signed document, with one figure, an full release. Either the buyer stays in the deal on a restructured, realistic schedule with the stacked penalties addressed in the settlement, or the buyer exits on managed terms, episode 13 style, with the account closed. Behind them, the whole account frame is also what the developer's side can actually say yes to. A contracts team can't keep granting piecemeal concessions. Everyone is precedent, as we covered in episode 6. But a single comprehensive settlement that closes a troubled file is a normal commercial decision. You make it easy to say yes by asking once for everything in a signable form, and run the branches one last time, because stacked arrears is where the arithmetic bites hardest. Fight the ledger in court and lose, and you owe the demand your own fees across a year plus, and exposure to a costs award on top, as much as 50,000 dirhams against the largest developers, depending on the appetite to appeal. The demand was the floor of that branch, never the ceiling. Pay the letterhead figure unexamined, and you've paid the soft dirhams too. The negotiated whole account settlement, built on the reconstructed figure, is the only branch where the number goes down. That sentence has been the spine of these 5 episodes, and it earns its repetition. This reconstruction and settlement work is what Dispute.a's engagement does. Free call first, fixed fee assessment to establish the reconstructed figure, then the negotiation under terms tied to a documented reduction against the demand, with half the fee refunded if it fails. Details on the site. Closing this run, 5 episodes, 1 arc. The buyer in difficulty, from the first penalty letter to the settled account. If there's a single thread, it's this. At every stage, the demand, the notice, the exit, the restructure, the ledger, the buyer's real position was knowable from the documents before any money was spent, and the buyers who did well were the ones who established it first, and engaged, structured, while resolution was still in the parties' hands. The next run of episodes takes this same philosophy into an entirely different arena, rental disputes, where the counterparty isn't a contracts team but a landlord or a tenant, and where, before anyone pays the rental dispute center's filing fee, there's a step almost nobody takes, the step before your file. What to take from this episode? In stacked arrears, the ledger figure and the legally supportable figure diverge because soft elements compound. Reconstruct the account before responding to it. Firefighting line by line fights on the developer's rhythm and resolves nothing. The account settles as one negotiation, one figure, one document, one release, either a restructure or a managed exit. The whole account settlement is also the form of concession a developer's team can actually approve, and across every branch, the negotiated settlement on a reconstructed figure is the only branch where the number goes down. And across every branch, the negotiated settlement on a reconstructed figure is the only branch where the number goes down. Thanks for listening. The full transcript is at transcript.a for pre-legal dispute support. Dispute.a is where that work is done.